darling. I'm Lakia Mack, your investy bestie, and I woke up this morning to an article from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that says 17% of home buyers cancel their contracts in December, right? And so my first thought is like, well, dang, should we be worried? Then I was like, girl, probably not. Probably not. And I'm going to explain why. First, if you're new here, you need to know that I'm your investing bestie for a reason. I come to you how I come to you, okay? 99.7% of the time, my hair is not going to be cooperating, whether I just got a retwist or not. You see these grays. They have a mind of their own. I can't control them. It's like a freaking 2-year-old. I have no control, okay? Speaking of 2-year-olds, you see the artwork, okay? You're going to get what you get. Just imagine you're sitting here in my office with me and we're having a conversation because I'm not an influencer. I don't put time and effort into like my aesthetic. Like you literally, we're in my office. I'm not going to paint over my baby's artwork just yet. You get what you get when you get it, okay? And this is how I'm giving it to you. Now, let's jump in. So, an article, if you're new here, I'd let you know I'm always reading my notes because I can't remember the stuff and spew it to you. I don't even try. Again, I'm not an influencer. I'm not coming to you with the aesthetic of thinking like I know everything off the top of my head. No, baby, I got to do my research. And I research a lot, and so I got to make my notes. So you're going to see me looking at this monitor. You're going to see me looking at this monitor. My eyes are going to look like they're crossing up because I'm looking at 2 screens. Bear with me. Now, an article came out that was written by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that says 17% of home buyers' contracts were canceled in December. So the big question is, should buyers and sellers be worried? In short, I'm not a psychic. I don't know everything. This is just going off what I've analyzed from what I see. Okay? No, don't panic, but yes, pay attention, okay? Don't panic, but pay attention. It's like being in a friend group and you see somebody throwing a little bit of shade. You ain't got to panic and throw away the whole relationship just yet. But you're going to pay attention. Data points, take notes. So let's get straight to the point and let me attempt to clear some things up. Now, a 17% cancellation rate does not mean that the housing market is crashing, despite what people may think. And I know some of y'all are going to try to beat me up, but let me tell you, baby, I don't fight, okay? You can have that. I don't fight. Not in the comments, not in real life. Anyway, it just means we're in a higher friction market, so to speak. Now, let's see. What do I have in my notes? What's really causing these deals to fall apart? Now, appraisals are not actually matching the contract prices. And remember what I said in a previous video, because I don't know which video you saw before this, so I can't say the last video. But in a previous video, I was talking to sellers, and I was saying, like, you have to price your property right from the very beginning. Do not allow time decay to get the best of you. So basically, don't go in saying, okay, well, I know the houses around me are going for $325, but I'm going to try to get $370 because my house is superior. In some cases, maybe yours is, but we just talking generics around here, okay? You think you can get $370 instead of around the $325 that the other homes are going for around you. And the thing is, so now, let's say you say, okay, well, I'm going to just try it for 10 days and see what happens. That's 10 days of wasted time. So now when you lower it, you probably, in my experience, a lot of people don't go and just lower it to the right, I don't want to say the right price, but to the suggested price. They want to gradually bring it down. But even if you go down to the suggested price after those 10 days, you've lost 10 days. And now your home is bumped down in the searches. And then you got to think, the first couple days is when you get the highest number, typically the highest number of views of your property. And so now if you had, let's say 500 people who looked at your property, and I'm just throwing numbers out there, you have 500 people view your property and then your price decreased. If they've already seen it on their search, unless they're actively watching it, they're probably just going to keep strolling past it. So don't let time decay get the best of you. Another thing is financing tightening. So I keep telling y'all, we not in COVID pandemic anymore. So these lenders, they're tightening their strings. I mean, and also, you know, they're under regulatory blah blah blah, you know, that they have to adhere to. So they are like tightening things up. So if your DTI is out of whack, that can really affect you. Now, a big thing that I've seen where I've had a couple of canceled contracts is inspection issues. So what's happening is once the inspection is done, a lot of times the cost to repair certain issues is not even worth it to the buyer to repair it. Now, you can always go to the seller and ask them to repair it, but unfortunately what I've been seeing, and this isn't for everyone, the sellers just don't necessarily have the finances to make those repairs. And because they bought their home at top dollar, it's not really necessarily worth what they really want to get for it. So they're taking hits. Not everybody. Let's be clear, not everybody. But I have seen that happen. Another thing too, a buyer hesitation. When the numbers stop making sense, especially when I deal with my investors, which I deal with more investors than people who want to move into a house. If the numbers don't make sense, we ain't moving forward. Because it's all about the numbers. There's little to no emotion behind it. Do these numbers make sense? Am I going to make a profit? Or whatever. Some people don't buy real estate strictly for profit, but that's another video. If it don't make sense, it ain't going to make the dollars. This is not chaos. It's simply buyers and lenders being more disciplined. We are no longer in the days where buyers feel comfortable stretching certain things and they aren't really waiving contingencies and just hoping for the best. That's just not happening in today's market. So today's market says you need to price it right. And I say this all the time. If you have an agent, or even if you're selling it by yourself, you want to price it right. You don't want to go into it thinking like, okay, well, I can get an extra $50,000. Like, those days are gone, baby. They're gone. Support it with comps. So if you have an agent, your agent is going to be able to give you an analysis, a market analysis, and let you know what the comps are going, what the comps have sold for. If you are selling by yourself, you don't have an agent, you just want to research that and find out what, you know, the neighbor 2 doors down, what they sold their house for, and also find out how long it was on the market, because that actually is important as well. How much it sold for, how long it was on the market, and how it's good if you can find out if there were any contingencies as well, because somebody who sold their house for $250,000, right, and they paid 3% in closing costs is different than somebody who sold it for $250,000 and didn't pay any closing costs. So those are things that it's all important, and it affects your bottom line. So cancellations are rising because hope pricing is just not surviving the underwriting process. So to my sellers, especially those sellers who are selling on their own, they don't have an agent. If you're selling, here's the truth. A signed contract does not mean you're going to make it to the closing table. A signed contract will not survive if it cannot survive the appraisal process, the inspection, and the buyer's financing, which is another thing too. You want to make sure that your buyer has strong, why am I drawing a blank? You want to make sure that your buyer has a very strong pre-approval. There are some lenders who just will write a pre-approval. What's going on behind me? A ghost? There are some lenders who will write a pre-approval and not even check DTI, employment. Like, they just willy-nilly writing pre-approval. So you want to be mindful of the actual lender as well. Now, sellers who are pricing realistically are still closing. Sellers can chase COVID numbers, but your contracts, if you even get under contract at that point, it might fall apart. I'm not speaking bad. I'm coming to you. Y'all know I was in the legal field, paralegal, mediator, arbitrator. So I'm coming to you as a mediator. I'm just giving you what the numbers say. Now, if you're a buyer, this is actually good news for you. You have more leverage, more inspection power, and fewer bidding wars because properties realistically are staying on the market a lot longer than they have been previously. But now this is only possible if you're... I keep getting these text messages and now emails. I should have muted my phone first. I forgot. Anyway, but this is only if you're prepared. You have a strong lender, realistic expectations, and you have a buffer for repairs. Now, also, I spoke to one of my close lender friends, and what we talked about is a lot of these cancel contracts are coming from self-represented buyers. Pause. I'm not here to deter you from representing yourself. Now, some people may think like, oh my gosh, you're an agent. Like, why would you not try to deter people? Because we all have free will. And if you don't want me to represent you, I don't want to represent you. It's literally just that simple for me. Here's the thing. The reason why my theory, while there may possibly be more people who are self-represented who cancel contracts, is because it's a good idea to have somebody in your corner. The thing is, if you're a seller and you're selling your property on your own, you may just lose out on a few $1,000s, $10,000, $20,000. And if money's not that important to you, like you don't care about that, then it literally doesn't matter. You're just out of a few $1,000s. However, if you're the buyer and you don't have representation, you could be buying someone else's headache. In addition, you could be out of thousands of dollars in addition to that headache. And so what I mean is you could be overpaying for something that someone who's a little seasoned or knowledgeable, I'm not saying you don't have knowledge, but someone who knows certain things and knows what to look for, they can help you. You may pay full price, or you may feel like you're getting a deal because they knocked off $20,000, but with the right representation, you could have gotten $60,000 knocked off. But in addition to that, you can move into this property or purchase this property, and now you find out that the freaking sewer pipe is cracked. It's so many ways that can do you harm. And then the thing too with buyers, oftentimes the seller pays the buyer's agent fee. It is at their discretion. But from my experience, I haven't had a seller not pay buyer's representation because it's actually to their benefit. And I know it may sound crazy, but it is, because a lot of times buyers aren't willing to shell out the money. They're already paying closing costs. They're already paying a down payment. And then to add on another percentage for the buyer's representation, a lot of buyers are just, if you don't want to pay, especially, working with investors, if you don't want to pay, I'll just move on and find another property where a seller is willing to offer that. And so just like it's the seller's option to pay, it's also the buyer's option to make an offer and proceed with that contract. So I'm not here to convince anybody to have an agent represent you, but I will tell you there are benefits to that. But if you're confident and you can do it yourself, hey, by all means, do it. I say all that to say the market is not broken. It's selective. It's like being in a relationship. You may go on 20 dates with someone, and then you realize the dating market isn't broken. Child, the dating market is horrible. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't know. But from what I hear, how they say it's pee in the dating pool? I don't know. Might be feces now. I don't know. I don't know. Bad analogy, but I think you get my point. And if you've been around long enough, you know this is how I am. Listen, I had this video set. When I read it out, 3 minutes and 5 seconds, and we probably at like 13 minutes for all I know. I don't know. Back to the subject at hand. It's selective, and I was gonna give the analogy about being in a relationship, but we're gonna skip that. Remember, the selective rewards proper pricing, strong preparation, and agents who knows how to manage risk. And I have a story about that, but I'll wait because this video is probably long enough. So I'll wait for that. So if you want help navigating this kind of market, it's what I do. It's what I do. If you are confident in doing it for yourself, guess what? I support you. And I know it's going to be some DMs saying, why would you say that? Just because I bring value to, I don't know, Anna, doesn't mean I'm going to bring value to Austin. I don't know, Girl, I don't know. Don't mind me. Anyway, if you're ready to turn confusion into coins and questions into what? Close deals. You know what to do. Hit my line, 470-948-5545, or email your girl, Lakia at LakiaMack.com. I am Lakia Mack, your investy bestie with LoKation Real Estate, my brokerage. Gotta give them a shout out. Hit me up. I'd be more than happy to give a realistic consultation to see where you are, what you need, and how I can assist you. As always, I